What's up everyone, Steven here from Leadjetty.com. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a high converting lead magnet offer for your website that will get you a lot more email subscribers. This video is going to be part technical where we show you how to set this up inside Leadjetty, and it's going to be part strategy where we talk about how to do this sort of thing that helps you get higher conversions without really being tool specific. So if you're using some other tool, it will also help you as well. With that said, let's go ahead and jump in and create a new flow for this exercise. So we're going to pick an embedded flow to start. And I'm just going to call this flow lead magnet demo. And again, I have to pick a property. This is my test account. This is all sort of fake stuff, and I have multiple properties set up on here. You probably don't even have this field unless you've done some sort of advanced stuff, so don't worry about that. And then I'm going to create the flow here. And once I get to this point, I can either pick a template or I can start from scratch. To make things super easy for you, we went ahead and created this lead magnet download template. So we're going to click that over on the left and then click choose this template, and we should be good to go. So the first thing I want to do now that we have this set up is go ahead and just turn this on and click preview. And I want you to see what this looks like. So you can see here we have a picture on the left, we've got this free download text, we have your first name and email fields, and then a button that says download my free guide. So let's take a quick look at how this is set up so that you can kind of create something similar from scratch if you wanted to, and so that you can customize this template as well. So first of all, let's go back over here, and we've got an image. You can see we have a paragraph element, we have a first name element, and an email element. You can add new elements by clicking on this blue plus here, and you'll see our full list. The design of this is going to change soon to make it a little bit easier to manage. But in any case, let's take a look at this image next. So you can see on images, well, before I get into that, let me just say, if you haven't watched any of the other getting started videos, be sure to do that. But you can always click on the elements to see the various options. On the image element type, we have a new option called display side. So we can say center, left, or right. And if we put center, it's going to stack everything. So we can save this here. And let's go ahead and refresh on our preview. And you'll see that it's going to drop a giant image on top, and it's going to have the form fields below it. So what we want to do, in my opinion, if you want to get high converting opt-ins, so you definitely want to have some kind of image, typically like a picture that sort of illustrates what people are downloading, like a picture of an ebook with your content or cover on it would be good. And I like them on the left. We can also put them on the right, and if we put them on the right, basically it's going to take this image, put it on the right, and shift everything else to the left. So if we save that and we come back and refresh, you'll see that now the image shows up on the right. So that's how you can essentially move the image from side to side. So now we know how to move images around, and I've explained that having an image is definitely going to help you get higher conversion rates, especially if it's something that stands out, because as people are scrolling through your site, if it just blends in with everything, they're just potentially going to skip over it. So you want to have something eye-catching there. But the thing that really, really will drive conversions in a way that almost nothing else will is your copy. So we have a few different ways you can manage the copy. So first of all, the button text. And this is a little bit hidden right now. We may move this around somehow in the future. But if you click on these three dots on any given step, you have the ability to change the button text. So for this particular template, we've got the text download my free guide. Now, one of the things that really improves conversions for some reason is including the word my. So, get my free report, start my free trial, this sort of thing. So we can leave this alone, but this is how you can customize that. Download my free guide right there. Just click these three dots and it shows up. The next thing is this paragraph. Now this is a rich text editor, so many people will just write like, subscribe to the list or something like that. But this is really an opportunity for you to kind of craft a compelling offer with a call to action, which is typically the button text. So, there's a couple of ways you can do this, and obviously this is a big topic, copywriting and creating offers, so we're not going to cover everything here, but just in the context of Leadjetty and the context of offering somebody a free download, there's a couple of quick tips. So the first thing is lead with a question. So we'll worry about styling this up in just a second, but let's say that we're offering people something like a guide on how to get out of credit card debt. So you don't want to have to get too clever here. You don't want to come up with like too much catchy sounding stuff that people aren't going to immediately understand. So what we might want to say is something like, are you struggling to get out of credit card debt? Something like that. And we might want to bold this, and we might want to make this like a heading 4 or heading 3 even. And then we could say something like beneath that, download our free, step-by-step guide that will help you. And the next tip is to use bullet points. So typically you want to have 3 bullet points, no more, no less, that really hit on a pain point that you're going to help people resolve. So that's just a pro tip on how to get higher conversions. And I'm not exactly an expert on credit card debt here, so I don't know exactly what bullets we'll use. Let's just make up a couple quick ones on the fly here. So let's see. Maybe these aren't exactly relevant, so bear with me. But download our free step-by-step guide that will help you stop stressing about finances from month to month. Maybe we're going to show them like the possible options on how they could get out of debt. So we could say like, learn about your options so you can find your path to freedom. And maybe the last one is something like, finally get above water and start to build wealth. Something like that. Okay, so again, not my niche, so I don't know if these bullet points make any sense whatsoever, but let's just kind of walk through exactly what we've got going on here. So we lead with a question. And this is sort of how I work, right? So I've done a lot of Facebook advertising. I've done a fair bit of what we're doing here now. My process really is, okay, lead with some kind of question that calls out like, hey, are you this person? Okay. Then just some kind of like little lead in, and then a few bullets saying like, here are the benefits, or like, here's the pain that you have, and I want to connect it to a benefit somehow. So once we get kind of a baseline down, like this is very simple. Let's actually go ahead and save this, and let's go just see what it looks like over here. So this is kind of what this looks like, as we're scrolling through an article. Bam, are you struggling to get out of credit card debt? Download our free step-by-step guide. So this, it's not the most beautiful thing in the world, but I think it looks pretty good. We're going to definitely be rolling out some things so you can like tailor the design a little bit more to your liking. But this will convert. And let's take a look at how we can just amp up the text a little bit more. And then let's kind of play around with the design just a little bit. So as far as the copy goes, if you were in the credit card world and you were writing this sort of offer, this might be good enough. Realistically, it's very straight to the point. Are you struggling to get out of credit card debt? Download our thing. Here's the benefits, right? And assuming you have actually come up with your own benefits. Again, I made these up. You watched me do it, and it's not my specialty. So, but what we can do, always do this. So write a draft that's just straight to the point. And this will be even more obvious when we get into split testing in a future video. So keep that in mind. But what you want to do is come in here and look for things that are phrases that are sort of basic, like get out, and say something like, how can we jazz that up so that it's even more sort of, visceral in a way. It's like, are you struggling to escape the trap of credit card debt? And then you could even go through struggling and find like, is there something more intense than that? And then you could do that through all of these points down here. Stop stressing about finances from month to month. So you could kind of take that and say, how can we push that to the next level so that it's a little bit more out there? And you can test that. I mean, a lot of people think that comes off a little too strong, and that's understandable. But you do want to kind of test these things to see what converts. So as you can see, we're way past saying, hey, join my newsletter. Join my newsletter is going to convert at a very low percentage rate because most people don't really want any more newsletters. When you offer people something like, hey, are you struggling to escape the trap of credit card debt? If somebody's in credit card debt and they're stressed about it and it's on their mind and they're worrying about it, you want to speak that language so that they go, yes, that's exactly my problem, and I want that. So just a tip around copywriting is, and sales in general, is if you can speak somebody's language and describe their problem to them extremely accurately, people are much more likely to believe that you can actually help them solve it. So that's basically enough, I think, on this copywriting stuff for now. I think what I want to do just for the last couple of seconds on this video is actually just kind of tighten up the design over here a little bit. So if we scroll down and look at this again, I mean, I don't hate it. I do think that there's some things that are kind of a little bit out of proportion with each other, and that might be something we have to sort of work on internally. Like these bullets, I think, need to be laid out slightly differently. Like I said before, though, I mean, love it or hate the design, this will definitely convert. But what I want to do is kind of just flip the image back over here and play around with some of the sizing on these things and see if I can get it to just feel a little bit better. So let's put that on the left there. And I notice I didn't actually save my change over here. So let's say, are you struggling to escape the trap? And, counterintuitively, we might actually want to make these bigger, and it's going to take up more space. Now remember, like, this is really made to be kind of a big opt-in here, so if you want something tighter, again, we'll show you how to do that in another video. But see, now this is really attention grabbing. So somebody's scrolling through, boom, are you struggling to escaped, I misspelled that, that's cool. Not that it's important, but anyway, we'll fix that. Are you struggling to escape the trap of credit card debt? So yeah, that font being 14 looks a little bit better in my opinion here actually now. We could even maybe bump it down so that this goes down all the way below the image. Kind of a design nut, so sometimes like this thing not being perfectly lined up bothers me, but I think this looks better. At the end of the day, if it's important to you to capture emails for your business, you really want something prominent that's attention grabbing. If that's a key metric for you, like how many emails am I getting, what is my email conversion rate? If you put a little box somewhere at the bottom of the page that says subscribe to my newsletter, you're going to get like a fraction of a percent of people who are subscribing. If you put something like this, in the top half of your blog posts, you might want to put like a little separator here or something to kind of put it in its own little section or something like that on your page. But in any case, if you put something this prominent out there, you could get as high as 20-25% opt-in if you are writing really good copy. So I just want to, say, like, if you have a page that's getting 1,000 page views a month, you could be getting 250 emails, potentially. I mean, could be more, could be less, depending on your audience, your niche, what you're writing about, and all that sort of thing. But you should be able to do something pretty significant. So that's really it. That's the tips. We talked about copy. We talked about design a little bit. We talked about, you should put this in a prominent place. I would definitely suggest the top half of your blog post somewhere. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it. So if you do all these things, you will definitely start moving toward a higher converting, potentially very highly converting lead magnet offer. Now, there's other things too, like, a lot of people will just link to the lead magnet and then put like a landing page up. That can be okay, but you need to create banners that are attractive and compelling and put them in good places. Most people aren't going to go digging through your resources library, so that's not typically a good strategy, just to put it there and think people are going to go look for it. Let's see, any other last thoughts before we part ways? As I have said before, we're going to talk about split testing. So if there's anything that's in here that, hey, I think this doesn't work as well as you think it does or something like that, well, that's great. That's what split testing is for. We can try it, we can run traffic through it and see what works the best. So we'll definitely be talking about split testing in one of the next videos. So if you've made it all the way this far, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video.